Okay, hi everybody. It's Andy and Denise on the banks of the Yukon River at Calico Bluff, and we're here to give you your update for the Yukon River breakup watch. First thing I got to do is make a correction. Yesterday my trivial fact was a little bit off. The actual official length of the Yukon River is 1,980 miles, not 2,400 miles. So
it depends where you...
yeah, it depends on where you start from, but that's the official length, so big correction. And today's trivia question is going to be, what is the area in square miles or square kilometers of the entire Yukon River drainage? So that's the question for today, and we'll get you that answer at the end of this video. And just one more reminder, if you are watching this, and you want to follow it, an easy way to follow this is just subscribe to our YouTube page and then hit the little bell next to subscribe, and then you'll get a notification whenever we update. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time because we're out in the middle of nowhere, and uploading things to the internet takes some time and a bit of frustration from time to time. Here's the person that gets to deal with that. So we had some pretty cold temperatures last night, down in the teens Fahrenheit, around -10 Celsius. And I'm trying to do everything in both metric and SAE US measurements, because I know a lot of people around the world who are on the metric system are probably watching this too. So we want to, actually what I'd really like to do is for the US to switch over to metric, because it's way easier.
Exactly.
But anyway, we had some colder temperatures last night. We definitely have a lot more ice forming in the calm areas. Out in the middle of the Yukon River, it's looking really hard now again. It was getting pretty slushy out there. So things are tightening up again with this colder weather. We're expecting some cold weather for a couple more days, and then hopefully we'll see some warming. And Denise has a bit of a report. She kind of gave us a little bit different perspective. One of the things we realized living here on the banks and coming to the same place is we get a lot of wind and a lot of silt blown on the river right here at our location, which once the sun comes out, it starts to melt the snow a lot quicker here because of the brown color of the silt laying on the snow and the ice. So we're more advanced than other places on the Yukon River are right now because of that factor. And so Denise, what did you do?
Today, Denise went up Calico Bluff, right up behind me here. Walked down the shores and went up the bluff for a perspective from there. And like Andy said, it really puts it into perspective. The melt is a lot more noticeable right here, just in front of Calico, of the homestead. But when you look up the river, it's a solid sheet of ice up there. And it also gave me a really good reminder of how enormous this river is and how dwarfed the homestead site looks from up on Calico Bluff.
Yeah, so I guess everybody is always familiar with their close proximity, their surroundings, but when you put it in a big perspective and start looking at it from high up or from a satellite, you're actually pretty insignificant on this earth. And it's hard for us human beings to consider ourselves insignificant.
This feels enormous here and big, but when you go up, it just shrinks away.
Yeah, one of the things that really help you put that in perspective is when you look at the drainage of the Yukon River and you compare it to some things that people might have an understanding of. If you compare the Yukon River to Texas, the Yukon River drainage in both Canada and Alaska is 20% bigger than the square mile area or the square kilometer area of Texas. So it's a huge area. It's a really huge area. So it's the home to a lot of different people. We'll talk about that more later on. We're just going to continue to keep building on facts and trivia about the Yukon River and who lives here, why they live here, and maybe a little bit about the history of the Yukon River, because it's got a relatively short history as far as European or white settlers into the area. The native indigenous people have been here for thousands of years. In fact, on our homestead site here, there are archaeological diggings that are showing that people lived right here all the way up to about 6,000 to 8,000 years ago. So people have been living right here at Calico Bluff, right where I live, for over 6,000 years. So pretty amazing place. I think that's going to be our report for today. The river level actually went down a little bit more last night. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 paces, almost 6 paces away. Last night again, a lot more shelf ice forming, and we're just going to have to wait for warmer temperatures before we start to see things start to move in the other direction right now.
Water's lower, ice is thicker,
and we're colder.
and the sun is brighter.
Yeah, there's a lot of heat in the sun, but there's also a pretty cool breeze blowing right now, so we're back to wearing hats, parkas, gloves, and all that. So that's the end of our river watch for today, and we'll give you the answers to our fun facts, and keep signing in, tune in to us, and we'll keep you updated on what's happening with the Yukon River this year during breakup.
Fact of the day is, how many square miles or square kilometers is the Yukon River? It's 321,000 square miles, or 832,700 square kilometers. That's a lot of water.